G'day punters, here we are for a bit of punting Melbourne style. I'm joined by Dan Kelly as always.
Hello, Good to see you, mate.
How are you,
Tuesday.
mate? So I don't know about you, mate, but I am sick to death at looking at horses coming off synthetic onto heavy tracks.
It's not
with other horses in the race off a 5 onto an 8 or an 8 onto a 5. And anyway,
I'm backing one today off a heavy track debut and it's onto a soft 5 and I'm thinking, well, you think it'll improve, but it might be a wet tracker, you know. So it's it's the quandary you got to put it. Yeah, this time of year, mate. You said it's the winter trench warfare we've got to go through, but it's just complicated by the changing tracks.
It just means you have to be prepared to put up with a little bit more variance in the results. When you find winners, they'll often be, they can be good prices because
that's right. Yeah.
The market will take risks with some runners, and then now there's a lot of short, well-backed runners at the moment just not getting to the home turn for these type of reasons.
Yeah.
So there was I think we're due on Sunday, for instance. I can't possibly explain that. It was off I think it was a 6 or a 7 at Sale onto a pretty similar track at Sandown, maybe a bit firmer, and just didn't get to the corner. So
yeah. And there's different profiles of the different tracks. Some of them are shifty. Moe's got a real sand profile. It's a different heavy track to a lot of other heavy tracks. I'm doing this. I've started doing these DK lays for Betfair, and I had one kicked off yesterday. So I'm going to do it for 12 months. If anyone wants to come along for a ride, tune into the Betfair Twitter account and get a Betfair account and maybe get something out of it if you want to come along for the ride. But anyway, the first one I did was a horse called Finnick yesterday. So Finnick, I know it used to be Luke Oliver, and it resumed. Mick King said it anyway. It went to the Poly, got beaten 11 lengths over a mile on the Poly. Went to the Moe Bog, won by 3.5 lengths at the good price. There it is. And then it was coming back. I took it on because Tom Stockdale was on it, off it, and the little girl was on it yesterday. It got beat, but it got a bit easy in the market. But that's what we've got to put up with, Potts. It's beaten 11 lengths in the Poly to a 3.5 length victory at 10-1 in the Moe. Yeah. And then it comes back to a soft 5 yesterday, which was neither here nor there,
And the funny part is, like, those tracks out further from the more country tracks like Echuca and Mildura have actually held together pretty well through the winter. They've been 5s and 4s most of the time and raced well.
We had the Mildura Cup Carnival 2 weekends ago. On the Friday, which is the main day, the Cup day, there was a maiden. There was a Super Vobis Gold maiden. With the bonuses, it was a $70,000 race. And all it could garnish together was a field of 9. Rich Itch was in it. Rich Itch, we went up from down here, but all it could get was a field of 9.
On that
beautiful track up there, which is
absolutely.
in the best orders of any track in the state at the moment, and it's fair. It's a fair track. You can run on down the middle. You can, and then for a $70,000 maiden, all I get was a field of 9.
If the trainers don't get these opportunities, they'll have no one to blame but themselves.
That's right.
And I saw that at Sydney. I didn't even take any interest in the race, but I saw it in Sydney on Saturday. They put a maiden on a Saturday card.
Yeah, they did.
$125,000 race. 7 runners.
7 runners.
They should be 20. They should be a maximum, whatever the maximum field size is. The trainers should have made sure they supported that if they want that to happen more often. I mean, you're not going to get many $125,000 maidens.
No, that's
7 runners. Unbelievable.
I don't know. The trainers I don't understand. You'd have to talk to a trainer, I suppose, why. But I couldn't believe that they wouldn't travel up there to that sort of race. Or it might be a timing thing.
The Sydney trainers, I mean, like when there's maidens at Kembla, they have maximum fields for like 50,000 or whatever they are. And
here's 100. You could set the horse for this race a long way out. You can see there it is in the calendar, big circle around it. Set a horse for a $125,000 maiden. So anyway.
And as you say, the one at Mildura. Anyway, and the track was excellent.
The tracks are beautiful. It raced in great order. You could win from anywhere. And Paddy Payne, that's all you've got to do when you go to Mildura. Bet at Mildura, punters. There's a tip for you.
Well, I didn't bet there. I only did a review of it. I just noticed that it seemed to be Paddy Payne or the South Australian trainers.
Yeah, South Australian trainers came across and targeted a bit. Yeah, which was interesting. But so yeah, mate. So now the tracks, they're out there. The nice tracks. But Echuca's racing. It picked up that meeting. Was it yesterday? It picked up that meeting off Geelong. Geelong must be a bit waterlogged down there, and it raced fine yesterday. You could win from anywhere.
So as Luke said, check out his stuff on Betfair. And thanks to Betfair for supporting us. And
for sure.
They're a great organisation. They do as much as they can for providing info to the punters and
educating punters,
and so forth.
So punters to learn how to win,
And thanks to the Emerald for letting us sit out here and there.
Andy Lewis, thank you.
Always good. So there is light at the end of the tunnel, DK. Yep. 2 bits of good news. One, I've got through the winter reasonably well. Like, it's been a roller coaster, but there's been something there.
Yeah, no.
So like last week was a great example of it. Like Sale was going beautifully, and then we lost the second half of the card there after the fall. And that was racing really well, that track. It was a pity
and they've
happened.
I mean, obviously it's okay for me because I've got the 5 maidens out of the way, so I had to partake and was able to do, there'll be some winners coming out of those races. But
and then Moonee Valley was
we had poly racing though, either side, so it was quite a quiet week for those of us who don't really partake in the poly.
I stayed right out of those polys and I got into Moonee Valley, and I thought it would race really well. And the track did race really evenly, and unfortunately when you get really big competitive even fields at Moonee Valley on a track where there's no lanes, what you end up with is messy racing.
That's what it was.
And that's what it was. Right. And really, in most races, the best ride won, really.
Yeah.
It was as simple as that.
What do you want to quickly flick through, mate? We'll have a quick flick through. I saw the maiden horse, I know well, Condors Express.
Yes.
Got one race won with Linda on, but I significantly had the blinkers on, I suppose. That probably helped it. And
blinkers.
And getting that right run rather than up being facing the breeze. Bit of cover.
And it was a small field. I think there might have been 6 runners. And the other 5 runners were either resuming or off the poly. It was the only recent horse that had raced on turf tracks. Now I'm saying that with hindsight because I marked the long odds, and the blinkers improved it. And it's like when you watch the race, it won like a
she got out early.
Yeah.
So I think backing distance with the blink. I like horses up in this, but backing distance with the blinkers on.
Yeah.
I think is and it copped a ripper ride off Linda. Pick up ride. Do you reckon Em Walker would have won on it? I don't know. I think who knows? It's a bit of difference there between Em Walker and Linda and the way they ride.
She's a very interesting jockey. She's rightly getting a lot of plaudits because she's a very good jockey. If I think she's got a weakness, I think her weakness is when she gets on a horse hard in the market, particularly if it's a dominant favourite
in town,
and it's more competitive and they're not doing her any favours. I think she sometimes second guesses herself. But when she's on the fringe duels, which she was on all day there on Saturday, and she's just doing her own thing. Horses just run for her, and there were the results.
And in the country, alternatively, when she's on these favourites, she just owns the race.
She usually does, but I saw her on one yesterday where she didn't. Really, Steinbrenner. I thought she went a bit slow on Steinbrenner.
She did. I just rated that race this morning but I thought Red Cracker had a good chance, but I still had Steinbrenner was going to be in front of it, so I'd had to run past Steinbrenner, and it did because it was still nice and strong on the line. So
I'm not saying she necessarily rode Steinbrenner badly, but she didn't. What would have made it incredibly hard for Red Cracker if she had gone on a strong tempo the whole way.
That's right.
It would have brought it undone because it's a very small little horse that's only got a sprint. So anyway, you can't get them all right.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, in the country, she's just dominant. She's a dominant jockey.
She's a great punter's pal in the country.
And Jamie Carr's in a similar category, but she's on the Tony McAvoy stayer on his name, More Than whatever it was called, More Than something.
More Than Ever.
More Than Ever, and she rode that absolutely beautifully. Like you couldn't have ridden that better. And so it's not. There's no thing. But see, like Linda on Inverloch, going by its early speed and its past 3 runs, I still don't know how she managed to get it to the front. And once she did, I'm just sitting there thinking, Mark Zara's looking in behind him for dangers. Mark, you're looking in the wrong direction. The danger's right there in front of you. Do something.
Linda, gouchy in the old days, letting them control races like that around Moonee Valley, just doing what they like out in front.
Yeah.
Just bloody hard to catch.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, horse. So there we go. And then, so I just, some of the ones, Queen Annabelle was just a beautiful ride by Ollie. I mean, she doesn't win out of turn, and she had reasonable base and platformal performances going into it, but it just had it would have taken a lot of imagination to see the run that she ended up getting. So beautiful ride by Ollie.
That was the one,
And in that race, the early favourite Condors Heroes, who's a miserable horse, resuming as a gelding, just the market said no, and it, but Birchwood took no part.
Now there's another horse the market said no with Potts. What race was that in?
Race 2.
Race 2. That was Jetta Star. Now you're still at a loss as to explain that.
Well, she ended up starting $8, I think. Okay, after opening sort of $3.50.
And easily the price 2 to 1, $3.50, obviously. Yep, of its form.
Yeah, if you, she had 2 jump outs and she just was 5 lengths in front of the field, which is always a bit of a. You don't know what to make of that really when that happens. It's a difficult one, but it's a 1,000 metre race. It's a sensible thing to back the horses that are in front 1,000-metre races,
Yeah.
generally speaking. She looked like getting an easy lead, but she had to be scrubbed to get to the front. She struggled just to get anywhere near the lead, and then not long after she got there, before the home turn, she was gone, and she got beat 12 lengths. So she's run like 100 to 1 shot. Now, someone knew that she was 100 to 1 shot and wanted to lay her from 9 o'clock in the morning.
9 in the morning, she was
jump. Like any price.
just swallow everything.
Yeah.
And I was there, they came up with some excuse about the tongue tie or something, which may not be, but you're saying there might have been issues in the lead up.
Well, if that's the only excuse, someone knew at 9 o'clock in the morning she was going to have issues with the tongue tie. So, I mean, that's the sort of one that the steward should get to the bottom of and explain it to punters, but, whatever.
Yeah, they can only do so much, I suppose.
Can,
There was one the other day, did you see that, in that sale race one, on Wednesday, that first starter, Don't Tell the Boss or something like that, Max Allen was really, really kind to it.
Yeah.
And they said, well, it didn't finish off an 800-metre jump out on me, so I was trying to nurse it as long as I could, but there's nursing it, and there's trying to get a 2 to 1 chance, or 5 to 2 chance of the line that plenty of punters are on.
Didn't look good.
Didn't look good at all, but they just accepted that. He said, no, I just wanted to nurse it as long as I could because I wasn't sure it'd finish off the race. And, yeah, okay, there it is in the steward's report.
Got the heater on, fellas.
Tick.
Oh, good.
We're all sweet, anyway.
Yeah, so I can understand the explanation there, but if you were on that 2 to 1 chance, you weren't feeling very good about that.
Of course not.
Situation.
It was like a 4 kilo apprentice bouncing up and down on the weight,
There was a nice horse one I made in there in race 4 or something, Chasing Returns, DK.
Well, I've got him here, mate. He was in the horses to follow here. I've got a proper horse beside him.
Yeah.
He was fantastic.
So I think the ex-Kiwi had 2 runs for Galligatus.
Owned by David Hall, or
He
could end up in Hong Kong. But yeah, geez, what about his last 100?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Had a worked hard throughout.
A torrid run.
Yeah. It just went moderate horses, but really powered away and really powered through the line.
Proper horse, and he showed that on first up at Geelong on the heavy. I sort of took him on there, so I don't know much about this horse. And Craig Williams was on a first starter of his brother's that's trialled well, so sort of went with it and got lucky to some degree, but because Chasing Returns was out the back and wide and flashing home, Craig won the race thankfully. But but straight after that he was a proper horse. He seems like a serious animal lad. New Universe had his day, mate.
Just
that was it.
Typical Waller horse floating around every now and again. They bob up. I mean, I can't. It's very hard to predict when they're going to produce their best, and he managed to do it there.
A few of the boys on Twitter found iBoogie. See the Noonan boys, and that found it a big odds on their little racing show. Go good on them. Probably the D Lane again. D Lane, I think.
D Lane,
I
mean, he's just been out of form, that horse, and obviously D Lane got it in the jump out last Friday or the Friday before or whatever, before the race, and it went better. But, they if they found that they had plenty of imagination. Once there was support for it.
Yeah, the support was there as well.
Then it meant
20s into 10s or whatever it was.
It was a live chance in the race. So.
Yeah, I think that's the D Lane factor that we spoke about more than ever. Inverloch we spoke about, Meach having their own time in front. Usain Bowler, that was just a tale of 2 runs, wasn't it? Tavasan up there, big keen, covering a bit of ground, and Usain Bowler getting last crack.
Yeah, beautiful fly was in between them the whole way.
Oh, Jay Potter.
Potter. He didn't really help himself. He did everything to help Usain Bowler, and he did Ben Mellon no favours on Tabs, and he probably should have nearly won the race himself.
Yeah, must have. Do you know what is that? I don't know. It's obviously from Adelaide, is it?
Just Adelaide, sort of solid Adelaide form. But, there was another horse in the race from the same form line that escapes me, but an ex-Victorian that...
Arrow Lane?
No, it might have been from the same form line, but it ran 4th, I think, the horse.
Columbia, the Clarkin horse,
yeah. I think Columbia and Arrow Lane, they're all sort of similar form lines. So
that beautiful fly. I was already splitting those 2 horses, so I thought, that's interesting.
Good mate of ours, I know, was on Beautiful Flyer and had laid the favourite.
Oh.
He wasn't. He wasn't enamoured with the whole Joe Potter situation.
What can you do?
Whatever.
All right.
That was the Valley, and then we moved on to Sunday at Sandown. Oh, where are we? Yeah, let's come back and we'll just have a quick chat about that in
part 2. All right, sweet.